WWE Sphere family, stop everything. If you thought you'd seen it all in wrestling, think again. Jon Moxley, yes, that Jon Moxley, just showed up on SmackDown and went face to face with Bron Breakker in what might be the most unexpected confrontation of the year. Hit that like button right now if this crossover dream matchup has you losing your mind. Because what we're about to break down is a moment that has the entire wrestling world talking, debating, and absolutely buzzing with anticipation. The purveyor of violence versus the second-generation powerhouse. Let's dive in. Let me set the scene for you, WWE Sphere family, because this is history in the making. For years, wrestling fans have wondered, what if Jon Moxley returned to WWE? The man who left as Dean Ambrose and became a wrestling icon across multiple promotions. The man who redefined what it means to be an independent wrestling star. The man who proved you could succeed anywhere with the right intensity and authenticity. SmackDown was rolling along. The WWE Universe was invested in the ongoing storylines. Bron Breakker was in the ring, and let me tell you, we'll talk more about him in a moment, cutting one of his intense promos about dominance and legacy. The crowd was into it. Everything felt normal. Now, I can't describe the specific entrance music for copyright reasons, but what I can tell you is this: the reaction was instantaneous. The crowd erupted. Social media immediately exploded. Wrestling fans around the world simultaneously grabbed their phones to see if what they were witnessing was actually real. Jon Moxley walked out onto that SmackDown stage, and in that moment, everything changed. This wasn't a rumor anymore. This wasn't internet speculation. This wasn't fantasy booking on Reddit. This was real. This was happening. Jon Moxley was back in a WWE ring, and he looked hungry. The significance cannot be overstated. WWE Sphere family. Moxley's departure from WWE years ago was one of the most talked about moments in wrestling. He went on to achieve incredible success elsewhere, proving his worth as a main event talent who could carry companies on his shoulders. But now, he's back, and he chose SmackDown for his return. That tells you everything about WWE's vision for the blue brand going forward. Bron Breakker is not someone who backs down. Ever. This is a second-generation superstar with the legendary Steiner bloodline running through his veins. He's a former NXT champion who has absolutely demolished everyone put in front of him since arriving on the main roster. He's a legitimate athlete, former football player, who brings raw power and intensity that's reminiscent of the Attitude Era. So when Jon Moxley walked down that ramp, Breakker didn't flinch. He didn't look intimidated. He looked intrigued, like a competitor who finally found someone worth his time. You had Moxley, the gritty, battle-tested veteran who's been in death matches, championship wars, and career-defining battles across the globe. A man who's proven he can adapt to any style, any environment, any opponent. And you had Breakker, the young, explosive powerhouse who represents WWE's future. A man who moves like someone half his size despite being an absolute tank. A competitor with something to prove, carrying one of wrestling's most legendary names on his shoulders. When they finally stood face to face in that ring, you could hear a pin drop. The tension was palpable. Two completely different eras of wrestling. Two different philosophies. Two men who've taken very different paths to the top. Moxley spoke first. And here's what made it so compelling: he didn't come out there disrespecting Breakker. He didn't mock him or belittle his accomplishments. Instead, Moxley acknowledged the talent, acknowledged the potential, but made it crystal clear that respect only goes so far. Moxley essentially said, "I see what you're building here. I see what you're becoming. But I'm back to remind everyone, including you, what real intensity looks like. What real violence looks like. What real championship mentality looks like." Breakker's response: absolutely perfect. He didn't back down. He got right in Moxley's face and made it clear that he's not some rookie to be tested. He's a Steiner. He's a champion. And if Moxley wants to return to WWE and make a statement, he picked the wrong person to start with. The verbal exchange was fire. WWE Sphere family. No scripted sounding promos. Just two intense competitors talking to each other like fighters before a big match. Raw, authentic, believable. Let's break down why this matchup is so fascinating from an in-ring perspective. WWE Sphere family. Jon Moxley's style is what I call calculated chaos. He's unpredictable. He's willing to take damage to inflict more damage. He's wrestled in every conceivable environment: traditional rings, parking lots, international arenas, intimate venues. He's faced strikers, grapplers, high flyers, and brawlers. His experience is his weapon. He knows how to pace a match. He knows when to explode and when to slow things down. He knows how to tell a story that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats. And most importantly, he knows how to win when it matters most. Moxley's offense is diverse. He can chain wrestle if needed. He can brawl with the best of them. He's got submissions in his arsenal. He can work technical. He can work stiff. He's essentially a Swiss Army knife of wrestling styles. Bron Breakker, on the other hand, represents pure power and athleticism. This is a man who can press an opponent overhead with ease, then follow it up with a standing moonsault that shouldn't be physically possible for someone his size. He's got the Steiner genetics, the strength, the explosiveness, the intensity. Breakker's offense is devastating. His signature spear could cut someone in half. His power slams look like they hurt through the screen. His agility for a man his size is borderline superhuman. He's the type of athlete who makes highlight reels just from his regular moveset. From a psychology standpoint, this is a classic matchup: experience versus youth. Cunning versus power. The grizzled veteran versus the rising star. Moxley has the advantage in ring IQ and experience. He's been in big matches. He's carried championships. He knows every trick in the book and several that aren't in any book. Breakker has the advantage in raw physicality and momentum. He's on an upward trajectory. He's hungry to prove himself. He has everything to gain and very little to lose. And here's what makes this so compelling: both have legitimate cases for victory. There's no clear favorite. Both could win without it feeling unrealistic. That's the best kind of wrestling matchup. Now let's zoom out and talk about what this means for WWE, SmackDown, and professional wrestling as a whole, WWE Sphere family. Jon Moxley's return to WWE is massive for several reasons. First, it shows that WWE is willing to work with talent who've succeeded elsewhere. It shows they're focused on creating the best possible product, bringing in proven stars who can elevate everyone around them. Second, it sends a message to the WWE universe that anything can happen. If Moxley can return, who else might show up? What other dream matchups might become reality? That unpredictability is what keeps wrestling exciting. For SmackDown specifically, this is a major acquisition. Moxley immediately raises the profile of the blue brand. His presence attracts attention from casual fans who might have drifted away. His matches will be must-see television. For Bron Breakker, this confrontation is perfect for his development. Being positioned against a star of Moxley's caliber instantly legitimizes Breakker as a top-tier talent. Win or lose, he benefits from the association. If he wins, he gets a huge victory over a returning star. If he loses to someone of Moxley's stature. There's no shame in that. This also opens up fascinating storytelling opportunities. Will this be a one-time confrontation or the beginning of an extended rivalry? Will other wrestlers get involved, choosing sides or trying to insert themselves into the mix? Will this trigger a larger storyline involving SmackDown's hierarchy and championship pictures? WWE Creative has gold to work with here. The possibilities are virtually endless. You could do a straightforward rivalry based on mutual respect and competitive fire. You could add layers involving their different philosophies on what wrestling should be. You could even incorporate the generational aspect: Breakker representing WWE's future, Moxley representing WWE's ability to evolve and bring back former stars. From a business perspective, this is brilliant. A Moxley vs. Breakker match would draw significant interest. It would generate mainstream media coverage. It would trend on social media. It would give WWE something fresh to promote during a competitive time in wrestling. WWE could spend several weeks building this confrontation. More promos. More physical altercations. Maybe tag matches where they're on opposing teams. Gradually escalating the tension until we get the big singles match at a premium live event. This is the traditional approach, and it works when done right. The immediate impact. Alternatively, WWE could strike while the iron is hot and give us this match within a few weeks. Sometimes the best move is not to overthink it. The interest is at its peak right now. Capitalize on that momentum. Scenario 3. The triple threat twist. What if another wrestler inserts themselves into this situation? WWE loves those unexpected dynamics. Imagine if a third party, maybe another top SmackDown star, decides they want a piece of both competitors. Suddenly you've got a three-way rivalry that could main event a major show. The faction warfare. Moxley could align with certain wrestlers while Breakker has his own backup. This expands the storyline, involves more of the roster, and creates multiple match possibilities leading to the big singles confrontation. Personally, WWE Sphere family. I think we're looking at a methodical build toward a premium live event showdown. WWE knows the value of this matchup. They're not going to rush it. They're going to let the anticipation build. Every week, give us a little more. Every segment, raise the stakes slightly higher. By the time these two actually lock up in a sanctioned singles match, the WWE Universe will be desperate to see it. And that's when you deliver the payoff. As for who wins, that's the beautiful part. I genuinely don't know, and I love that. Both outcomes make sense storytelling-wise. Moxley winning establishes him immediately at the top of SmackDown's hierarchy. Breakker winning solidifies him as the future of WWE. Either way, we're getting an incredible match. WWE Sphere family, we just witnessed something special. Jon Moxley is back in WWE, and his first target is one of the company's most dangerous rising stars in Bron Breakker. This is appointment television. This is what wrestling is all about. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who do you think wins when Moxley and Breakker finally collide? Are you Team Moxley or Team Breakker? And what other dream matchups do you want to see Moxley have now that he's back? If this breakdown got you hyped, smash that like button, subscribe to WWE Sphere for the most in-depth wrestling analysis on YouTube, and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we break down the latest shocking moments. This is WWE Sphere, and remember, in wrestling, anything can happen, and we'll be here to break it all down.